Are you standing at the scary midlife crossroads wondering if your best work is behind you? Most people think their answer is in hunting for a job or dusting off an old resume, hoping to be chosen. But the truth is, the greatest calling isn't awarded by someone else. It takes root the moment you claim it and you name it for yourself. I'm Donnie, and since 2015, I've helped people connect their purpose and their process as a sales and leadership coach. And at my lowest point, one of my kids asked me the question, "Dad, do you even like who you are at work?" That question forced me to do what I ask others to do today: rebuild and recreate with new purpose. And it came down to a simple formula that anyone can use. Now, first off, I want to tell you, God renames people he loves. You should look at the ancient pattern of when transformation was needed, God would give new names to someone. He took Abram and turned him into Abraham. Jacob would become Israel. Saul became Paul. Simon became Peter. The whole thing is that a new name unlocks a new destiny and a new direction, because a name gives intention. A name tells everyone what something is meant for. Now, this isn't just a story or a ritual. It's actually a blueprint for radical forward movement. When you name yourself for this next act that you're going to create, you are opening a fresh new purpose, and it starts to take root. But scriptural history is just the foundation. Here's how this became real for me and when I was completely lost. We were a family of 10. We were nomadic, moving houses every 2 to 4 months. This was a part of our sell anywhere adventure. And it was fun, but there was a lot of pressure. I was successful on the outside, but inside, I felt misaligned. Performing as the sales warrior, I thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. But for 3 nights, this is like my Ebenezer Scrooge moment. My kids came to me and they cut through my mask. "Dad, do you even like what you do?" Here's the truth. I loved my work. I coached salespeople and leaders to the top of their profession, but I hated who I had to become every time it was time to sell. Out of desperation, I realized, what if I could choose my own name? What if I didn't have to be this sales warrior? What if I could do what I wanted to do, if I was the best me? And that's when the Joyful Farmer was born. It wasn't a job title. It was literally what I call now the 2-word resume. It was a calling. Someone in my mind who was a joyful farmer would plant with joy. I could freely just be happy and reach out to people, giving and being generous the whole way. Doing this for me instantly changed everything. But don't just pick a label and hope it sticks. There's a method to make your new identity last. The 2-word formula. Are you ready for it? It's actually really simple. All you have to do is actually think about what you really want, or maybe what you really don't want. When you know what that is, ask yourself the question, what kind of person does that? Or what kind of person has what I want to have? What kind of person? That is your noun. Maybe it's the teacher, the leader, the speaker, the writer. What kind of person? It looks like a job title. It's something that if you said it, we would all know what it is. But the adjective, boy, this is the soul that you get to put into it. The soul that you put into it means that, yeah, you might be a cab driver, but what kind of cab driver? You might be a teacher, but what kind of teacher? This is your calling. This is your being. This is your essence. And you get to choose that. Do you want to be more joyful, more loving, more kind, more patient, more bold, more happy? What is it that you desire to express? Gandhi said, "My life is my teaching." And so this really gets to say, I'm teaching you this value. I'm doing this thing with this value. And so it shows the world that it's possible. And here's the cool thing. When you have these 2 words, You don't have to ask for permission. You can just do it. And you can actually be maybe not the best teacher in the world, but you can be the boldest teacher, or you can be the most joyful salesperson that you know. You can actually own a title, and it really becomes exciting when you suddenly, with just 2 words, create very exclusive company by changing your exclusive title. Now, what happens when you change a title? Some people I've watched turn their recruiting practice around literally within a month, their business 10x. Other people I've watched, they own their process and it changes everything. Your name and the fact that you get to make a choice in what you're doing and how you're doing it, that is everything. So ask yourself, what value is being called forth in you right now? What purpose are you meant to serve? Reflect, pray, write, see what combinations feel honest to you, and what you can live and lead starting now. But just naming it isn't enough. Here's how you make this a reality and not just another t-shirt slogan. A new name is only as strong as your daily practice. Write it down where you're going to see it. Tell someone you trust. And now that you have a noun and an adjective, maybe choose some verbs, because what kind of things would that person do? Take one action each day that lines up with your chosen identity. And when the old habits start creeping in, repeat, this is who I'm becoming. I'm becoming the most joyful man I know. I'm becoming the most generous man I know. And as you practice your new name, your life transforms. Not overnight, but inevitably. Name it, claim it, live it, because the next act is yours to create. You don't have to reinvent your career by waiting for new titles or jobs. You begin by naming who you're called to be, just like the people before us in faith and history, just like they did. The future's unwritten, but it bends toward the words that you plant today. Write your 2-word resume right now. We'll see you on the next one. Stay blessed. We'll see you later.